English from the movies. Learn real English through film. Welcome to another episode of English 101, where learning English meets real life. In today's episode, we're diving into the magical world of movies, not just for fun, but to discover how films can become your most powerful teachers. From everyday expressions to natural pronunciation, movies are full of language gold. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner, this episode will help you learn real English the way it's actually spoken, right from the screen. So grab your popcorn and let's roll. Movies have always been more than just entertainment. They are reflections of culture, snapshots of history, and, most importantly for language learners, a living, breathing source of authentic English. When you listen to real conversations in movies, you hear how people truly speak, not how they write in textbooks. This difference is essential because spoken English often uses contractions, slang, idioms, and a rhythm that's completely different from formal writing. For English learners, films become classrooms filled with native speakers, natural phrases, and emotional communication. The beauty of it is that you can absorb language while enjoying a story. Many students ask, is watching movies really helpful for learning English? The answer is a big yes, but only if you approach it the right way. Watching without subtitles or understanding won't help much. But watching with purpose, with the mindset of a learner, transforms a movie into a masterclass in fluency. First, choose movies with clear dialogue. Romantic comedies, dramas, and family films are great for this. Action films and sci-fi might be exciting but often contain less conversation and more noise. Next, watch with subtitles in English, not your native language. This forces your brain to connect the sounds you hear with the words you read. Listening is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. The first time you watch a scene, just listen. Try to catch the emotion, tone, and general meaning. Don't worry if you miss words. On the second viewing, focus on the specific phrases used. Pause and rewind. Repeat what you hear. This is called shadowing, a powerful technique that involves listening and speaking at the same time. It helps your brain link the sound of English with the way it feels in your mouth. Even if your pronunciation isn't perfect at first, your muscle memory will develop over time. One of the best benefits of learning from movies is the vocabulary you gain. But it's not just new words, it's how they're used. Textbooks might teach you, I am tired, but movies show you, I'm beat, I'm exhausted, or I could sleep for a week. This variety makes your language more flexible and native-like. You start understanding expressions like, give me a break, what's the catch, or you nailed it. Phrases you won't easily find in grammar books. These expressions make your speech colorful and natural, which is exactly what learners need to sound fluent. Let's also talk about cultural context. Movies are windows into different lifestyles, values, and communication styles. In American films, you'll notice how casually people speak, even with strangers. You'll hear phrases like, hey man, what's up? Or cool, in situations that might seem too informal in other cultures. British films might use phrases like cheers, fancy a cuppa, or I reckon, which are totally normal in the UK, but might confuse learners. By watching films from different English-speaking countries, you gain not just language, but the cultural confidence to use it appropriately. One of the most effective ways to use movies as a learning tool is to keep a movie journal. Every time you watch a film, Write down 5 new expressions, idioms, or phrasal verbs you heard. Don't just write the phrase. Write the full sentence it appeared in and what you think it means. Later, check your guesses and write your own example sentence using that phrase. This active engagement is how learning sticks. Passive watching won't bring results, but conscious listening, writing, and practicing will improve your English faster than you think. You don't always have to watch full-length films. Short clips, trailers, or even scenes are valuable. Sites like YouTube or English teaching platforms often break down scenes from famous movies and explain the dialogue. This bite-sized content is great for learners with limited time. Even a 3-minute scene can teach you more than an hour of grammar exercises. And because scenes are often emotionally rich, you remember the phrases better. Emotions anchor memory. That's why the line, "I'll be back," or "Life is like a box of chocolates," sticks with you long after the movie ends. Another benefit is pronunciation. In movies, you hear real stress, intonation, and speed. English spoken by actors is closer to real conversation than the overly slow recordings in textbooks. For example, instead of hearing, "What are you going to do?" you'll hear, "What you gonna do?" This blending and reduction of words is key to understanding native speakers. If you don't train your ears to these patterns, real conversations will always sound too fast. Movies are a way to immerse yourself in this natural rhythm without leaving your room. Beyond vocabulary and pronunciation, movies teach you tone and emotion. A simple phrase like "I'm fine" can have 10 different meanings depending on how it's said. Is the speaker happy, angry, sarcastic, or tired? These emotional layers are crucial for real communication. English is not just about grammar, it's about feeling. When you watch movies, you hear these layers. You see body language, eye contact, pauses, and facial expressions. All of these are part of fluent communication, and they help you understand English on a deeper, human level. Watching movies also helps reduce fear. Many learners feel nervous speaking because they think they'll sound strange or make mistakes. But after watching hours of films, your brain starts to internalize the language. You hear yourself saying the same things actors say. You begin to trust your instincts. This confidence, born from repetition and familiarity, is what pushes you to speak. You realize that native speakers don't always speak perfectly either. They pause, repeat, change their thoughts, and use simple language. This realization is liberating. It reminds you that communication is about connection, not perfection. Lastly, let's not forget the joy. Learning English through movies is fun. It doesn't feel like studying. It feels like joining an adventure, solving a mystery, or falling in love, all in English. When learning is enjoyable, your brain stays open. You remember more, you practice more, and you make English a part of your life, not just a subject in school. So next time you're tired of grammar rules, turn on a movie. Let English come alive. Let it speak to your ears, your heart, and your dreams. Learning English through movies is not just about entertainment. It's about exposure to the language in its most alive and contextual form. After getting used to hearing real conversations, your brain slowly begins to identify patterns and rhythms of the language. One of the most important benefits of using movies as a learning tool is that they present English in context. Words are not floating in isolation like in vocabulary lists. They are part of real-life situations, dialogues, arguments, love scenes, or even humorous exchanges. This helps you connect the meaning of words to emotions and actions, making them stick longer in your memory. When you watch a character say something funny, sad, or dramatic, that moment gets emotionally stored in your brain, and so does the phrase. This is one reason why you remember movie quotes better than textbook dialogues. That emotional connection helps create a stronger memory trace. Moreover, repeated exposure to the same phrases across different films reinforces your learning. Hearing the phrase, "You've got to be kidding me," in 5 different movies will ensure that you remember it forever. That's how language acquisition works best, through frequent, meaningful encounters. Another key reason movies help learners improve faster is because of their use of colloquial English. Most English textbooks are based on proper grammar and neutral vocabulary, which is great for a foundation but not enough for fluency. Native speakers rarely speak like a textbook. They use idioms, interjections, and regional slang. For example, instead of "that's great," a character might say, "That's lit," "That's dope," or "That's awesome." These expressions are what you hear in daily life, at cafes, on the street, in classrooms, and on social media. Movies train your ears to this reality. Phrasal verbs, those tricky combinations of verbs and particles like give up, run into, or hang out, are everywhere in movies. And because you see and hear them in action, they become easier to understand. Watching someone say, "I ran into my ex yesterday," while clearly showing a surprised reaction tells you exactly what the phrase means. You don't need to memorize a dictionary definition. The meaning becomes visual and emotional. This is one of the greatest advantages of learning with movies. You get both auditory and visual clues, which speeds up comprehension. Let's also talk about tone and attitude. English is a language where tone of voice can completely change the meaning of a sentence. Saying, "Oh, really?" can express genuine interest, doubt, sarcasm, or even anger, depending on how it's said. In movies, you see this performed again and again. You start to understand that communication is more than words. It's pauses, sighs, laughter, and emphasis. For example, the word whatever can sound dismissive, bored, or playful depending on the speaker. Watching movies trains your emotional intelligence in English, not just your grammar. Another strategy that learners use with great success is scene repetition. Pick a short scene, maybe 2 or 3 minutes long, and watch it 5 times. The first time, just enjoy it. The second time, turn on English subtitles. The third time, write down interesting phrases or unknown words. The fourth time, shadow the dialogue. Try to speak along with the actors. And the fifth time, mute the scene and act it out yourself using the lines you remember. This kind of active engagement is far more powerful than passively watching a 2-hour film and forgetting it the next day. Movies also allow you to choose your own learning level. If you're a beginner, animated films or children's movies are perfect. They use clear language, slow speech, and simple sentence structures. If you're at an intermediate level, romantic comedies or sitcoms are ideal because they involve everyday situations and casual dialogue. Advanced learners can challenge themselves with historical dramas, thrillers, or even political films. Each genre offers unique vocabulary and intonation patterns. The beauty is that you're always in control of what you watch and how you watch it. Using movie scripts is another excellent way to boost your skills. Many popular movies have their scripts available online. You can print them or open them on your screen and read along while watching the film. This helps you recognize every word, especially those that are spoken quickly or swallowed in fast speech. Reading along improves your reading speed, listening accuracy, and spelling, all at once. Some learners even record themselves reading the scripts out loud, then compare their speech to the actors. This kind of imitation improves fluency dramatically. Incorporating movie language into your speaking practice is the next big step. Let's say you loved a line from a movie. "I'm not buying it." You could try using it in real life or in your English conversations online. Practice it with the same tone and expression. See how it fits in your own language flow. The more you experiment with native expressions, the more confident and flexible you become. Your vocabulary starts to sound real and emotional, not robotic or rehearsed. Moreover, movies introduce you to different English accents. American films sound different from British ones. Australian English has its own flavor, as does Canadian English. By exposing yourself to these varieties, your ears become flexible. You start to recognize accent differences and understand people from all over the world. This is particularly important in today's global world, where English is spoken by billions in diverse ways. If you only listen to one accent, you'll feel lost when you encounter another. Let's not forget about subtitles. While English subtitles are helpful at the beginning, it's important to slowly transition into watching without them. Once you've gained some comfort with the language, challenge yourself by watching 5 minutes with no subtitles. Try to guess what's happening. Then re-watch it with subtitles to see what you missed. This process sharpens your ears. You begin to focus on keywords, body language, and tone. Gradually, your dependency on subtitles fades, and you become an independent listener. You might be wondering, how much time should I spend watching movies in English? There's no fixed rule, but consistency is key. Even 15 to 30 minutes a day can make a huge difference if done mindfully. Choose one scene per day and focus deeply. One scene well studied is worth more than 10 hours of distracted viewing. Remember, it's not about watching 100 movies. It's about watching a few movies very well. Creating a routine around movie learning is powerful. Maybe every Sunday you watch a new movie. On weekdays, you review scenes from that movie, study its dialogue, and practice its phrases. Some learners even create video diaries where they record themselves talking about the movie they watched. Today, I watched Forrest Gump. One phrase I learned was, "Life is like a box of chocolates." This habit improves speaking, confidence, and storytelling skills all at once. By the time you finish a few movies this way, you'll notice a huge improvement in your listening, speaking, and overall fluency. You'll start hearing English in your head. You'll recognize phrases in real conversations. And, most importantly, you'll feel that English is not something foreign. It's a part of your daily experience. Movies turn language into music, story, and emotion. They are a doorway to both linguistic fluency and cultural literacy. So, don't just watch movies. Study them, feel them, live them. That's how real English becomes yours. Watching movies is more than just entertainment. It's a language experience. When you press play on a film, you are opening the door to real, living English, spoken with emotion, slang, rhythm, and nuance. In this part of our podcast, we'll dive deeper into how you can actively engage with films, extract useful phrases, and mimic pronunciation and flow. Let's turn your next movie night into a masterclass in English. Begin by selecting a scene you enjoy. It could be something dramatic, funny, or even intense. The key is to choose something that resonates with you emotionally. Emotional connection is the secret ingredient to memory. When you feel something while watching, you are far more likely to remember what was said. Rewatch that scene 2 or 3 times. The first time, just enjoy. The second time, focus on the words. Turn on subtitles if you need to, but challenge yourself to rely more on your ears. Now, grab a notebook or your digital notes app. Write down key phrases or sentences that stand out. Don't try to transcribe everything, just the expressions that seem useful, natural, or interesting. Perhaps a character says, "I've got your back," or "Don't get cold feet." These are idioms and phrases that natives use often, but you rarely find in textbooks. Write them, highlight them, and make them your own. Next comes shadowing. This is one of the most effective techniques for pronunciation and fluency. Choose a sentence or phrase, listen to it, then immediately repeat it, trying to match the actor's tone, speed, and intonation. It may feel strange at first, like you're acting, but that's the point. You're training your brain and mouth to produce English as it's really spoken. Over time, you'll feel more natural and confident. Use movie scripts. Many films have their full scripts available online. If you're serious, find the script of the movie you're watching. Follow along as you listen. This will train both your reading and listening skills. You'll begin to notice how spoken English often differs from the written form. Contractions, pauses, fillers like and you know, these are part of real English, and movies are full of them. Don't forget to pause and rewind. Unlike live conversations, movies give you the power to control time. If something is unclear, go back. Watch the same phrase 10 times if needed. Every repetition builds familiarity. Eventually, you'll be able to anticipate what's coming next, just like a native speaker would. Record yourself. This might sound intimidating, but it's incredibly powerful. Choose a short monologue or dialogue from the film. Practice it until you're comfortable, then record yourself delivering it. Listen to the original, then to your version. Notice the differences. Where did you miss a word? Did your tone match? Did you stress the right syllables? This feedback loop is gold for improving your spoken English. Mix genres. Don't only stick to comedies or action films. Watch dramas, thrillers, romantic movies, and even animated films. Each genre introduces you to a different kind of language. A courtroom drama will teach formal and persuasive language. A romantic comedy might expose you to sarcasm and emotional expressions. The more variety, the more versatile your English will become. Use apps and browser extensions to help you. Tools like Language Reactor or Subtitles Translator extensions can allow you to see dual language subtitles, slow down audio, and click on words for instant definitions. These tools make learning from movies far more interactive and customizable to your level. Join online discussions about movies, whether it's on Reddit, YouTube comments, or movie forums. Participating in these conversations helps solidify what you've learned. Try to write your thoughts in English. Describe what you liked, what a scene meant, or why a line was powerful. This gives you practice thinking and expressing yourself in English while discussing something enjoyable. Practice movie summaries. After watching a film, or even just a scene, try to summarize what happened out loud in your own words. This tests your listening comprehension, vocabulary, and speaking ability all at once. For example, if you watched a scene where two friends argued and then made up, try to say, "They had a disagreement, but eventually apologized and reconciled." Use variety in expression. Create flashcards for recurring expressions. If you notice that certain phrases show up in many films, like, "What's the catch?" or "It's not that simple," add them to a flashcard app like Anki. Use them in your own sentences. These are golden expressions that give your English a natural and fluent feel. Watch interviews with actors and directors. After watching the movie, go on YouTube and look for behind-the-scenes interviews. These often contain conversational English, personal anecdotes, and cultural context. It's like an extension of the learning process. Plus, it's motivating to see how the film was made. Avoid overdubbing. Try to watch movies in their original language without dubbing. Subtitles are okay, especially in the early stages, but dubbing removes the real sound of English. Even if your level is low, it's better to listen to English with subtitles in your language than to watch it dubbed in your native tongue. Set goals. For instance, watch one English movie per week, extract 5 useful phrases, and practice them for the next few days. This kind of focused, repeated exposure will produce results. Consistency is more important than intensity. Even 15 minutes of focused movie learning daily can have a huge impact. Finally, enjoy the journey. Don't treat every movie like homework. Let yourself laugh, cry, and feel. Language is not just about structure and rules. It's about expression, connection, and experience. Movies combine all of that in one rich package. So grab your popcorn, open your mind, and start learning like never before. One of the most powerful reasons to learn English through movies is that it connects the heart and the mind. Unlike textbooks or grammar drills, movies bring emotions, stories, and characters into your learning experience. They humanize the language. You don't just memorize vocabulary, you feel it, and that's what helps it stick. In this final part, we'll explore how to build long-term fluency by making movies an ongoing and enjoyable part of your English routine. Let's begin with the idea of emotional anchors. An emotional anchor is a scene or moment in a movie that creates a strong emotional impact: joy, sadness, anger, inspiration. When you connect an English phrase to that emotion, your brain stores it more deeply. If you cried during a scene where someone says, "You're not alone," that phrase becomes unforgettable. Make a personal list of these emotionally anchored expressions. Create your own movie dictionary. As you watch films, collect expressions, slang, and vocabulary that you repeatedly hear. Don't just write the meaning, write the full context. Who said it? In what tone? What was the situation? Include your personal interpretation. This turns your notes into a living, breathing resource that grows with every film you watch. Pair movies with your current level. Beginners might start with animated films or sitcoms with simpler dialogue. Intermediate learners can move into romantic comedies or drama. Advanced learners can challenge themselves with historical films, thrillers, or political dramas that use more complex language. Match the level, then stretch slowly. Don't be afraid to pause frequently. Some learners feel that pausing breaks the flow, but in fact, it enhances focus. Each time you pause to note a phrase, rewind a tricky line, or practice a sentence aloud, you are actively learning. Passive watching can be enjoyable, but it rarely leads to real growth. Active viewing transforms your time into training. Use the watch, repeat, recall method. Watch a scene. Repeat it immediately in your own words. Then test yourself later. Can you remember the key phrases? Can you retell what happened? This method combines listening, speaking, and memory, building into one process. It's especially powerful if you speak your recap aloud, even if it's just to yourself. Use movie clips on YouTube. You don't have to watch entire movies every time. Search for movie scenes in English, famous dialogues, or short film English practice. These short videos are often just a few minutes long, but rich in conversational language. You can learn a full week's worth of vocabulary from a single clip. Make it social. Watch movies with friends who are also learning English. Pause and discuss the scenes. Share what you understood. Try role-playing characters. You'll be amazed how fun and interactive this becomes. Learning doesn't have to be solitary. It can be shared, and that makes it stick even better. Practice script writing. Take a scene from a movie and rewrite it in your own words, or create an alternate ending. This exercise improves your vocabulary, grammar, and creative thinking, all at once. For example, if the characters say, "I can't believe you lied to me," rewrite it as, "I never thought you'd betray my trust." Same emotion, different words. Explore cultural references. Many movie scenes include idioms, jokes, or references that are specific to English-speaking cultures. Look them up. Understanding these references helps you feel more connected to the culture and context of the language. It's not just about speaking English, it's about thinking in it. Use the movie diary technique. Keep a small journal where you write about each film you watch. Write in English. Describe the plot, your favorite character, the most interesting phrase you heard, and how you felt while watching. This reflection deepens your learning and builds writing fluency. Reward yourself. After a study session using a movie, give yourself a small reward. Maybe a piece of chocolate, a break, or watching your favorite scene again without subtitles. These small celebrations keep motivation high. When learning feels rewarding, it becomes a habit. Avoid perfection. You won't understand every word in every movie, and that's okay. Native speakers don't either. What matters is progress, not perfection. Even understanding 60% of a movie is a huge achievement. With time, that number will grow naturally. Be proud of every step. Celebrate your growth. Think about your first English movie. Maybe you didn't understand much, but now? You catch jokes, feel emotions, and recognize expressions. That's real progress. It's easy to forget how far you've come. Re-watch older films and compare your understanding. You'll be surprised and proud. Set monthly goals. Challenge yourself. I'll watch 4 movies this month and learn 20 new expressions. Write them. Practice them. Use them in conversations or even on social media. These mini goals create structure and momentum. Language is a journey, and each goal is a stepping stone. Watch with purpose. Don't just press play, have a plan. Are you focusing on pronunciation? Then shadow. Are you focusing on vocabulary? Then write expressions. Are you working on grammar? Then pay attention to sentence structure. Having a focus turns watching into learning. Use voice tools. After watching, use a voice recorder to describe the film. This builds speaking fluency. Even better, upload your review to a platform like YouTube or a language forum. Speaking publicly sharpens your fluency even more and connects you with others. In conclusion, movies are not just entertainment. They're one of the richest, most powerful tools for learning English. They combine visual cues, emotional power, real-life language, and cultural immersion into one unforgettable experience. When used right, movies don't just teach you English. They transform your relationship with it. So the next time you sit down to watch a movie, remember, you're not wasting time. You're training your ears, your mouth, your mind, and your heart. You're stepping into the world of English, not as a student, but as a participant. Let the stories speak to you. Let the language move you. And let every scene bring you one step closer to fluency. Happy watching, and even happier learning.